students, welcome to ACE Academy. Welcome to the session on Current Affairs. As a part of our daily news analysis, let us today discuss about a recent law which was invoked by the government to tackle the corona pandemic. And this act is called the Epidemics Disease Act of 1897. This is a 123-year-old law which was recently invoked by the government to tackle the COVID-19. In this session, let us know everything about this act. This act is a pre-constitutional law. This is a pre-constitutional law which was given by the British government. And to tell you friends, this is important for your prelims. This is not a central law, but this is a state act which was passed by the British in the Bombay state. To tackle bubonic plague. This law was enacted to tackle bubonic plague which erupted in 1897 in Mumbai or Bombay. Okay, this act contains only four sections. And this act was invoked by the government of India even before 2020, and that is in 2015 at Chandigarh, and this was invoked in Chandigarh to tackle malaria and dengue. And in 2018, it was invoked in Vadodara, Gujarat, and this is to tackle cholera. And in 2019, it was imposed or invoked in Pune, and this is to tackle swine flu. And now, let us know about all these four sections and what is this act. Yes, friends. So, as I told you before, just a minute. As I told you before, this act is called the Epidemic Disease Act, which was passed in 1897. This act contains four sections. Now, in the original act, section 2A was not there. Meaning, after the independence, the government of India has added section 2 capital A to this act. This act originally contains only 4 sections without 2A subsection. Now let us see each section. Section 1 is called the short title and an extent. This act may be called as Epidemics Disease Act of 1897, and this act extends to the whole of India except the territories which immediately before the 1st November 1956 were comprised in Part B. But these things have been now taken away. These powers of this extension is now with the hands of the central government, and if the central government want, it can extend to any part of the country. That means within the country only. Now, Section 2. Section 2 is very, very important for the exam because recently after COVID-19, the central government has asked all the state governments to invoke Section 2 of the Act. Now what is Section 2 of the Act? When any state invokes Section 2, the state governments will get powers by taking special measures in regulating the danger of the epidemic. Meaning the state governments will get powers to take any steps to tackle the disease. Look at this. When this section 2 is invoked, the state governments will get right to inspect any person traveling by railway or otherwise, and also they get right to segregate these people, and in hospitals, accommodations, right, quarantines, etc. What we are seeing the state governments doing nowadays, right? The state government is taking full measures to tackle this coronavirus. So which section gives the power to the state governments? Section 2 gives power to the state government in tackling this disease. Now, this is a state act, so state government will get power with the help of section 2. What about central government? Yes. With the help of section 2A, section 2 capital A, the powers to tackle the disease will be with the central government. Now, as I told you before, this section 2A was not part of the original act. This was added by the government after the 1950, that means constitution came into force. Meaning the central government, with the help of Epidemics Prevention, Disease Prevention Act 1897, gets full powers, absolute powers to tackle the coronavirus, or in particular any virus. Now if any person is not following this act or not following the rules given by the central or state government, what is this act saying? Section 3 of the act talks about penalty. Section 3 of the act deals with penalty. If any citizen of this country is not following the rules prescribed by the central or state government to tackle any disease, after invoking this act, the punishment for that person will be applicable. The punishment for that person will be applicable as per section 188 of Indian Penal Code. A person disobeying any regulations or order made under this act shall be deemed to have committed an offence punishable under section 188 of Indian Penal Code. This is very important for your prelims. Now, what is section 188 saying? According to section 188, any person disobeying the rules or orders of the central or state government will be punishable for an imprisonment up to 6 months, or 1,000 rupees fine, up to 1,000 rupees fine, or both. Meaning he might get up to 6 months imprisonment or up to 1,000 rupees fine, or both. Meaning he might get both 6 months imprisonment as well as 1,000 rupees fine. Now look at the fourth one. Protection of the person, right, acting under this act. Acting under this act, meaning no suit. What is the scope of judicial review? What is the scope of judicial review for this act? Look at this. No suit or any legal proceedings shall lie against any person for anything done or in good faith intended to do under this act. Meaning, if any person is following the rules or order of the central or state government in application of this act, any citizen cannot go against that person to the judiciary. Meaning this act is immune to judicial review. This is very, very important, my dear friends. Meaning there are, to repeat, there are 4 sections. Now these 4 sections deals with the state power to control the epidemic or any disease. Now this 123-year-old disease was recently invoked by the central government to tackle the COVID-19 pandemic. This is most expected topic for the prelims of any competitive exam. Coming up any competitive exam, I recommend everyone to make notes of this. Okay, so thank you very much. Let us now see a practice question. Now, as discussed earlier, these practice questions, right, will be discussed daily, and the topic of this practice question will be the topic which we had discussed yesterday. So yesterday we discussed about the financial emergency in India. Right? Look at this. Look at the question and try to solve it. Consider the following and choose the correct statement. Which of the following is the correct statement? Article 360 of the Indian Constitution discusses about financial emergency. Statement number 1. Statement number 2. Governor should reserve all money bills of the state legislature to the president in case of financial emergency. Which of the following statements is correct? The answer is both. Both the statements are correct. Now look at this. Part 18 of the Constitution deals with emergency provisions, according to which there are three types of emergencies which are discussed in the Constitution. The first one is national emergency, discussed in Article 352. The second one is state emergency or called President Rule, discussed in Article 356. And the third one is financial emergency, discussed in Article 360 of the Constitution. Now, when there is a financial emergency proclaimed in India, two things will happen. The first one is the governor shall reserve all the money bills of the state legislature with the President of India. Right? The second one is the President of India will get absolute powers to diminish the salaries of any public official, including the judges, except the President of India's and the governors. Because you all know, according to Article 59 Clause 4, the salary of the President cannot be diminished when he is in the office. And according to Article 158 Clause 4, the salary of the governor cannot be diminished when he is in the office. So this is for today, friends. I'll see you guys tomorrow with another current affairs. Thank you very much.